Simon, it seems an eon since we've spoken with Nigel from Nigel's Animal Rescue. Welcome back, Nigel.
Merry Christmas to you, Phil and Simon.
Good to see you again.
It's wonderful to be back for the last time this year.
Yeah, well, of course, a word of caution, people will buy animals for pets for Christmas and then, discard them a few weeks later if they lose interest, won't they?
Yes, certainly. We do get a lot of animal dumping after the Christmas period, so, if you do receive an animal, please, keep it for life, because an animal is for life.
Yes, of course.
And that's for the life of the animal.
And I guess also the other way around, if you are thinking, even considering buying a pet for somebody, make sure they want it.
Absolutely. Do ask them first to make sure. Otherwise,
Look, I can give you a good example. Somebody gave me a lovely Burmese cat for my 40th birthday. An adorable cat. That was a lifetime ago. But I was flying to Sydney and Brisbane twice a week. I mean, it was the worst gift to give me. I was never home. No. And there was always someone else having to mind the cat.
Hated being in the luggage compartment.
So you're so right. It has to be something appropriate. And if you live in the high-rise or something, and you crave an animal, well, maybe at least you could have goldfish there. Or
a lot of people are taking on small dogs these days.
Yeah, sure.
In the high-rises when I've been in them, seen a lot of small animals, which is, it's great for people to do.
And if you are going to adopt, say, a dog, it's good to get one that was on death row, because they will love you forever, won't they?
Yeah, oh, for sure.
In fact, a bit later, if you stay on, we've got a story about that, about a dog named Sahara.
Right.
But that'll happen after the news.
Very interested.
Now, another warning, of course, is New Year's Eve with fireworks.
Oh, yes. Every year, this time of the year, we always get a lot of calls for dogs that are stuck between fences and garages. So, this year, please, everybody, on New Year's Eve, make sure that your gates are locked, the holes in your fences are all patched up, the holes that go underneath your houses, because a lot of animals go underneath houses because of the noise, they get frightened. And the best place, I think, to keep your animals actually indoors.
Indoors, in the laundry, if you don't want them leaving accidents on the carpet.
Well, it's only for an hour or so, isn't it?
Well, it is, and it is on the odd nights as well, as I've already seen fireworks going off in different parts around Melbourne already at night. So, please go around and do your fences and make sure your gates and things are all locked up, because the last thing I want to do is get called out to retrieve another animal out from under a house.
Yes, well, that's so unnecessary.
That's exactly right.
Now, tell us about some of your rescues of late.
Oh, what did I? Last Sunday, I had to go up to that was the Bunyip State Forest.
Oh, yes.
Colleen Wood, who cared for Sam the koala back in the 2009 bushfires, as everybody will remember, the koala in the water there. She actually had 101 koalas out of that fire there, which is a huge number. But anyway, there was 250 koalas that had been translocated from French Island back in October, and they've been released up in the Bunyip State Forest, and there was a couple up there that weren't doing too well, so I got called out to go and climb the trees. We had a mother up there with a little baby on her, but unfortunately the mother had a broken jaw, which is really horrid to sort of see when she had this tiny little baby one with her. But we managed to get them both down safely, and the little one's now being hand raised, but unfortunately the female mother had to be put down, which is really sad. But it saves her. She's lost 2 kilos in body weight within a 2-month period, so she was actually starving to death, and she would have been found dead on the ground before too long. And we had another male koala that was dehydrated as well. We were picking up the droppings, and we could see that the droppings were very, very dry. They should have been a lot more. So I climbed the tree, we brought him down to the ground, and he's doing really, really well.
That's right.
So that was a great couple of little rescues last Sunday.
How many rescues do you think you've done over the years, over 20 years or more?
Oh, over the 27 years that I've been dealing with animals, I estimate well over 35,000.
That's amazing. Mainly birds and possums.
Every type of animal you can think of that you can find in Melbourne, and a few exotic ones that don't belong here as well.
Now, can I pose a moral dilemma to you? You know, we've got magpies at home that even come inside to our house, and we just adore the magpies. We've got a little hole in the ceiling just outside where minor birds have now decided to build a nest. Because of that, not even our cat is safe to go outside. They attack the cat.
Yes.
But they're scaring off the magpies. Now, knowing that minor birds are pests, should I just board up the thing, get rid of the minor birds and brush them away and let the magpies come back?
Yes, certainly, but you need to check the nest first to see if the eggs in there that have actually hatched. And if they've hatched, they need to be removed. The nesting material needs to be removed out of the roof, and the roof needs to be sprayed for the bird mites. And this is a lot of work that I'm dealing with at the moment, as the starlings were the first ones. They started breeding about a month ago. Now that they're finished, now the Indian miners are coming in and taking over. Did you know that there is actually one good thing about the Indian miner that I have found?
No.
They're good at picking up our rubbish.
Oh, really?
They pick up all the litter, all the little bits of plastic, the lolly wrappers.
They're rats with wings, aren't they?
Well, they are rats with wings, but they pick up all of the rubbish off the ground, they put it into their nest, and it's quite funny. A couple of years ago, I found one of those old tram tickets from 25 years ago. That was in a nest.
No.
And, the old conductors used to pull them off and thumb them to you.
Probably a fourpenny tram ticket or whatever.
So that's one good thing that they're good for, but no, they are vermin. They are very aggressive towards our native birds.
Yeah.
So in my book, the only good one is a dead one.
Okay. Now, if you'll stay back after the news for 5 minutes, I have an amazing story to tell you about a bird rescue in the organ pipes of my local church. I discussed it with you last week.
You did.
But I'm very keen to tell you what actually happened and the climax of the story of my Rattle parish priest trying to find these birds in the organ pipes.
David.
Nigel, snake season, and I'm reading all the time of snakes in the suburbs.
Yes, I've had 2 calls for snakes this week. One snake was inside of a house, but I did have a very funny story just around the corner from you last week, where a fireman was visiting a nursing home, and he was there checking all the fire equipment, and he was in the front garden bed there, and he swore he saw a very large tiger snake. So I got the phone call and I zoomed down to there, and of course it had to be a garden bed where all the shrubs are about 3 feet high and very thick, and it could be anywhere. And it was a bit prickly, so I spent about 35 minutes or so sort of crawling around, poking all the bushes, because I had to chase this snake out to be able to find it. After 30 minutes, well, guess what came out? A blue-tongued lizard.
A snake with legs.
Yeah. Well, I was going to tell you about my parish priest. During Mass, he heard the sound of chirping birds, and he thought they were coming from the pipes of the organ above the altar. And so eventually he called in not someone like yourself, but an organist to sort of dismantle the pipes, who spent a whole day fossicking for these birds that were nesting, only to discover they were nesting not inside the church, but just outside the church in the eaves.
Oh, yes.
And the sounds were carrying
down
because of the echo from the high ceilings of the church.
Yes, right.
So that was also a false alarm.
Yes, you do get them in this line of work, that's for sure.
Now, just before you leave us, and thanks for staying over, we want to wish you a very Merry Christmas, and your son...
Or staying back. I don't think you're staying the night, are you?
No, I don't think I'll sleep on the floor.
Well, you did stay over during the news, at least. And so I'll wish you and the family all the very best for the Christmas season. But give us some phone numbers in case we see some roadkill, or in case we need, to have a rat exterminated or whatever.
Well, there's always my number, but not over the Christmas period, because I will be closed from Boxing Day through to about the 2nd or 3rd of January. So please don't ring me through that period. I am unavailable. But if you do come across any wildlife that do need assistance, I'll give you some numbers, so get your pens ready. You've got Help for Wildlife. It's 0417 380 687. You've got Wildlife Victoria on 1300 945 35, and Australian Animal Rescue on 0430 883 083.
And we'll leave those numbers with Simon in case anyone forgets them, and Simon can always give them to you off the air.
Yep.
Now,
I wish you a very, very happy and safe Christmas, and a very safe trip up to the Antarctic.
The Arctic.
The Arctic, sorry. And I suggest you take some very, very warm clothes with you.
Okay. But you can't wear furskins these days, can you? The animal liberationists would be up in arms.
No, plenty of thermal underwear, I suggest.
And woolies, maybe.
Yes, for sure.
7. Take care, Nigel. Thanks for your enormous contribution to the Friday Nightline this year.
No, you'll be surprised surprised on how many animals have been rescued through 3AW with me coming into here, the amount of calls that I do get. So I thank 3AW the opportunity to allow me to come in and talk about what we talk about, and it all helps animals.
Well, you've been phoning in for 21 years since we started.
Yes, I have been, since you started. It's been a great relationship there, and I hope it lasts for many, many more years.
And it will, and I hope you'll come back on our next engagement on Friday, the 13th of January.
I will certainly be here. Until then, stay safe.
Good on you. Thanks, Nigel.